another story for you today. Do you remember the timeline of life? Right at the very end of that timeline, there was a picture, a special picture, a picture of a human being. Do you remember that? When we had that timeline, we talked about the earth settling down and the plants and animals coming. Do you remember those on the timeline? They began to live on the land and there were frogs. Do you remember something special about the frogs? Yes, they cooked. They had voices, didn't they? And the big reptiles came. You remember those? Birds began to fly in the air. And most of them built nests to lay their eggs in. And the mammals came with fur and their bodies. Do you remember? Then the very last thing, after a long time, the earth was finally ready. And at that time, at the end of that time, we find human beings. Human beings like you and me. Then, do you remember the other day, we had something else? We had the black strip. Do you remember the black strip? We saw how long it took until human beings came. You remember? Just that little red strip at the end is a time that human beings have been on earth. Do you remember? Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the story of human beings and what made them so special. When human beings came, they were very different from the other animals that were there before them. Do you remember? We have said that before. That's because it is important. What made human beings so different was not just the shape of their bodies, but their minds. Their minds could think just like you and myself can think. You are probably thinking right now. Maybe you are thinking of something or wondering what I'm going to say next. Maybe you're making up the next part of the story for yourself in your own mind. That is thinking. A mind that can think about all kinds of different things, that can plan for the future, that can reflect on the past, is one of the differences between human beings and the other animals. Human beings could see the sun and feel the warmth of the sun. They could feel the wind blow and the rain come down. And they could wonder about these things. Why were these things happening? What made these things happen? That means human beings could think about them. At night, they could look up and see the stars in the sky and see the moon shining. They could wonder about those things also. Then they did something else. They began to make up stories about these things. And so the sun had a story and the moon had a story. And some of the stars had stories. And the people who made up these stories told them to other people around them, and that is thinking also. The other thing that made human beings so different was that they could love. We can love also. I can love my brothers, I can love my mother and my father. If you have sisters and brothers and a mom and dad and friends, you can love them too. I'm sure you love them. You love your mom, you love your dad, don't you? I'm sure you do. But we can also do something else. We can wish that all the people all over the world have enough to eat. We can wish that all of the people have a safe place to live. This means that we can love people that we do not even know, that we will never even meet. This is a special kind of love that human beings have. With these two great gifts, a mind to think and being able to love, human beings, when they came to the earth, were able to do a great many different things more than the other plants and animals do. Each of the other animals was given a particular life that belonged just to it. Each plant was given a particular life that belonged just to it. Cows eat grass. They don't even eat any other thing. They just eat grass. Squirrels eat nuts. That is the kind of food their bodies can handle. Some birds, like the sparrows, eat seed. Some birds, like the swallows, eat insects. They don't eat anything else. But human beings can eat all different kinds of things. For breakfast this morning, for instance, I had yogurt and banana and a cup of orange juice. I'm sure you remember what you ate for breakfast this morning. Do you eat all kinds of different things? Yes, I'm sure you do. But birds build nests for their homes. Some human beings live in tents. Some live in apartment buildings. Some live in houses. Some human beings live in houses made of bricks. Some houses are made of stone, and some are made of wood. Some of them have wooden doors. Some have steel doors. Some have glass doors. Just think of all the different kinds of houses that you see on your way to school every day. Human beings are given something else, which was another kind of special gift, a special tool. Human beings are given hands, which were used to make things. Special hands. When human beings came on earth, they were able to walk on legs, freeing their hands to do things and to make things. Just imagine here, if you had to walk around on your hands and on your feet all day long, how would you carry out your work? How would you move about your materials? It would be difficult, wouldn't it? How would you water the plants, for instance? How would you hold your pencil to write? What we have to remember is that human beings are very special because we have those special gifts of a mind to think with and a special way of loving, and we have our hands. So we are special. Each one of us here, each one of you listening to my story, all the children around the world, all men, all women, all over the world are special. That is why we have to be so careful about how we treat each other, because we are so special. There's a specialness about each individual person. The story of human beings, the story of men, women, and children begin a long, long, long time ago. It's a very exciting story with a whole lot of things to find out about human beings and what they have been doing since they arrived on earth. Another day, we'll have another story to find out more about these human beings. Just remember that those earliest human beings were just like us. They just lived a long, long time ago, before any of us arrived on earth. That's my story for you today. I'll have another story for you very soon.